let's see. Everybody is whispering out here about the Puff Diddler.
Yep. Yes, definitely.
And all of the, you know who's coming out really positive on this whole experience?
Who?
Cassie's husband.
Oh.
Cassie's husband is like, if you had to look at his approval rating, he's killing as far as the fans are concerned.
This was a huge conversation in my house last night, right before I passed out. It was like, wow, I can't. Anthony was saying it's hard. It must be hard for him to not only hear everything, but if he knew everything, and to be with somebody that has such a salacious past.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to sit next to
a lot of people couldn't.
Yeah, just to sit in that courtroom and listen to all the details of the things that your significant other had been going through for years, it's sad.
Yeah, the prosecutor showed like 5 still images from freak off videos on yesterday, and each juror had their own screen that could view the images up close so they could get, you know, a better perspective. And they said one juror's eyes were like just bug out, like wide, and another one was just shaking their head side to side as they scrolled through the 5 images. So they were given that kind of thing to say, you know, all of the salacious parts and the stuff that everybody's kind of focusing on, the jury has to lock down on the stuff. Even if it's shocking to them, it's still, you know, they're piecing together this racketeering part because of all of the like the D-Rocks and the James Cruzes and the people who are like, you know, like she said after he had beaten her, D-Rock called and said, hey, it's time for you to ice your face.
Yep.
Like, so there was a system around it, and that system is what plays into the racketeering part. So they're slowly crock-potting this layout. And it's, I mean, between watching him, the press watching him, because he's a good-looking guy, he's a trainer and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So he's getting a lot of sympathy from the folks for just being there to stand up for his girl.
Do you think you could be with somebody that has such a past?
I mean,
we all probably have. It's just, you know,
that's I think a different level
going in.
Yeah, she's a victim. Like I mean, we could all say yes very easily, but it's very hard to even go through something like.
Well, you have to relive it now as well. I don't think that they were expecting this to happen because they took that took that $20 million settlement, which also came out yesterday.
30.
She said it was 20.
I think. Oh yeah, they settled on 20.
Yeah,
but when she left the first time, because the word is when she initially left and went to the trainer, she left with money.
Yes.
It wasn't a settlement. It was just like I'm taking what's mine, and he let her like go, blah 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 blah. But then she came back with the book, and then he denied it.
He said he didn't take it seriously at all.
Yeah, the assistant said he didn't take it seriously, but. Like when she came back and wanted $30 million for the book, he settled for 20. So they said when in the wash, it looks like she walked away with 30 on both exits.
The biggest thing in here too is like we were waiting for evidence of people saying that he was using the freak off videos as like intimidation and blackmail, and she finally admitted that.
She was a part of it.
Yeah, she was a part of it. There was one instance where she was going to like the Cannes Film Festival, and he would try like tell her and show her videos that she thought were deleted.
Yeah,
and tell
just
her,
like I'll drop them.
Oh yeah, I'll drop these. I'm gonna
like
embarrass you.
Like, he said he would put it out on Christmas.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like I'll send this to your parents and put this out on Christmas. So it was like, yeah, he was definitely using them for power. There's certain things and ways about talking about this case that a lot of people are very, very tight about. And I had a friend talk to me yesterday, a woman who said that her friend circle and her family has been talking a lot about it. And she's like, I just want to ask you what you thought, because she's like, you guys keep talking about it, and I just got some stuff to say that I can't say to any of my friends. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, she was just saying, I don't necessarily believe Cassie is the victim that she's portraying. And I was like, really? And I'm like, we had kind of talked about that. And she's like, well, I don't want to sound like a woman not supporting a woman.
Yeah.
And she's like, my hairdresser, my trainer. She's like, everybody is like really about woman empowerment. And she's like, but as I'm listening, I'm thinking, man, this woman, and again, not shaming, but she's just like, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, a lot of people are thinking that. It's just you got to wait until the wash is all put out there.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, because it's slowly, sometimes too slowly working through it.
It's not cut dry. It's like, is she complicit? Yes. But then now you're seeing
in
why.
The beginning.
Now you're seeing why she stuck around. Everybody asks why. The why is the intimidation that this dude was doing to her the entire time.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. All right, Freak Show, Wild 94.1 Base Party Station. It appears that some folks are up and paid paying attention. Someone says it's really sad that people are trying to defend Puffy and not stick up for Cassie after seeing blatant evidence of his activities.
Oh my God, I know. Yeah, I get it.
I mean, it's not. Everybody's just trying to look at it clear because I mean, we know Diddy's. All this is shown that Diddy's a crappy guy. But the other parts are. I'm like, there's stuff that you could decipher in here, and I mean, like for instance, we heard that he, which is shocking, he never allowed her partners to use protection.
Exactly. That's just one of the awful things.
Well, but do the math.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, okay, so yesterday I was told the racketeering thing has to have price. And she started talking about how much money she's raised, like with the freak-offs.
Yeah.
After how much money he was generating for the freak-offs. And she's talked about how many of them there were.
Yeah.
And that's her lawyer team putting a number on freak-offs, and then as they talk about, oh, there was many of them, and it was for 10 years, and blah, blah, when you add those up, now you're starting to get to a number that you could look to when talking about racketeering. But also, if you're talking about every partner he set you up with, he preferred them not to be protected. What kind of diseases do you have?
Well, we know about the mouth sores that she was talking about.
Right, but I'm saying...
What other
How
stuff?
do you for prostitutes who do sex for a living?
Right.
And you've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that have done this to you?
Right, and he wouldn't allow that to happen.
And you wouldn't allow any protection of any kind? Like, it's mind-blowing to the people who are out here protecting ourselves.
She described on the stand yesterday that there was one incident of 14 guys.
Right. And so, like, I mean...
That's a lot. And that's just one freak off. It's insane.
Yeah, think about 10 years more.
And
10 years of that.
She got so...
How did you skirt not having anything that sticks with you forever? Like...
Well, you don't know that. We don't know. And, you know, we don't know if she's actually going to come out with that information, but maybe she could have potentially.
They might need to ask that. Because I mean, if you're the cross-examiner and you're like, okay, so... This is a lot of freak-offs. Yeah. And there was a lot of activity. You said 14 on one. Yeah. So did you walk away with any kind of existing diseases that, you know, we should know about? Like, you could ask her that because if she says no.
Well, what does that have to do with the case of
racketeering? Because of it, but what we're talking about is about the truth about the participation in it, because maybe it's being embellished. Because if you tell me you slept with streetwalkers or prostitutes or whatever you want to call them, escorts, and it's so high in that number and you didn't walk away with anything like a herpes or an AIDS or any of the type of egregious ones that can't be fixed with medication, it helps you build
a better case,
reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
Like on if this is more personal than if this is, because I mean, he's a crappy guy, but when we're looking at the numbers and everything, the numbers can be flipped on the opposite side. That's just what somebody was telling me about the cross-examination of it. They're like, I hope they ask that question because it can give you a little bit more
perspective on, what's going on.
Yeah.
And she did go into some medical stuff yesterday saying that she got so many UTIs every single month that antibiotics stopped working on her.
Dude.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, there's a lot.
It's one thing. It's one thing for the physical abuse, but the mental abuse, and then just to your point, like what you're adding and what you're giving to other people. If that is the case, it's like, dude.
Do you know who else had mental abuse though that deserves to be a part of this? And I haven't heard much from them yet.
Who?
Kim Porter.
Yeah.
Kim Porter wrote a book.
Yeah.
And Kim Porter put a lot of stuff out about her life with Puff.
Allegedly.
And you realize that the stuff that he has done to Cassie, he originally was doing to Kim Porter.
Yes.
So she went through a lot of physical abuse. And in her writings, and all of her friends kind of talked about the beginning of Cassie and Puffy's relationship, when Cassie was trying to get Puff not to love Kim Porter and to love her, Kim Porter was getting abused in front of Cassie. And she wrote on that book that they were doing excerpts of that she had worked on that when Puff used to go off on her and violently attack her, Cassie was there and was laughing. Like they would send sexual videos and things like that to Kim Porter, like that they had moved on, that she's his new girl, so she participated in it. And then when they asked her, why didn't you, she's like, well, I didn't want him to find somebody else to do it.
Right.
That's what she said in the transcript. Like, she's like, I didn't want to lose him. I didn't want somebody else to do it. So when we look at what he's done, you got to be honest and say he's a crappy guy.
Yeah.
But you have to also be honest and say, hey, there was a point where you were willing to put up with this because you wanted the top spot.
Well, that's what she said when she was on trial. She said that in the beginning, they met when she was 19. She was not she didn't know anything about sex. She didn't know about how to perform with Diddy. And then at 22, she was involving herself with the freak-offs because she wanted to please him. But then after years of doing it, she didn't want to be involved in the relationship anymore. And it was extremely abusive. So she didn't know how to get out. So in the beginning, it sounds like she was down for certain things because she wanted to make him happy and she didn't know better. And then all of a sudden, realization just hit her in the face. She's got, I don't want nothing to do with this anymore.
Yeah. Somebody says it's hard to see the line blurring from if Cassie liked it or not.
Right. That's just my opinion. And that's what basically I got from what she's been saying.
I agree with this text out of Lakeland. It says, I think so far the case is a little weak because it is a RICO case. And so far, it's just been about a domestic situation.
It just started. I mean, we're at day 3? I mean, there's going to be 6 to 8 weeks, and they're trying to build the case so you can see of an example of how of a horrible person he is and how the blackmail started.
Has your opinion changed? Now that we've been 3 days in.
He's way worse than I ever thought he was.
Right.
Yeah, he's way worse. And even if he doesn't go to jail, which I think there will be some jail time.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, he can never come back from all this information.
Nobody's ever going to have you sell a bottle of champagne or vodka
Absolutely
or tequila or anything like that because the image is gone. He could walk out of jail tomorrow and nobody's going to treat him like he's the same celebrity standing next to everybody else and blah, 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 blah.
And that's the thing, too. It's like, it's not about what you know. It's about what you can prove. And right now they're proving he's a crappy person. But it's like, is he going to get jail time because of this RICO?
Thanks for checking out our video. We really appreciate it. And I know you want some more. So make sure you hit like and hit subscribe right below.